Right, so just a quick note on cooling fan resistors. So I did notice when I did recently the cooling radiator upgrade on my car. When I ran the car up to temperature afterwards, I did notice that one of the fans wasn't working. Now, I did a bit of research on this, and it seems that the fans themselves, the fuses, relays, they're normally pretty good. They normally don't really go wrong, but what does tend to go wrong is the resistors in the circuit. So they're sort of mounted to the bottom of the radiator cradle, so you can, and there's a little sort of access hole there where the hot air actually comes out of the car. So in theory, you can, without taking the full front of the car off and stuff, you can just jack the car up a little bit and just reach in and grab it, cut the resistor out and wire in a new one. So that's what I plan to do. Now I bought a couple of resistors on the basis that because one of them's failed, the other one might not be far behind. But what I'll do is I'll just change one for now. But I just wanted to show you this. This is how. I bought this from RSS Components. This is how they arrive. It is quite a bit different, unfortunately, to the standard one. So the standard one's a bit longer than this, a bit thinner than this. It doesn't have these kind of tabs, these sort of mounting tabs. So I thought, well, this needs a bit of adjustment to fit properly into the car. And sorry, the reason for getting these as well, you can still get the factory ones, but I mean they're rated at 50 watts. These are rated at 100 watts, and they've got a heatsink on as well. So they should just be better for the car. They should last as well. So I thought I'd get these. Now, in terms of exactly where these are, how to test them and stuff like that, there's a really good video I found online. Ed's Porsche Garage. He's done a really good sort of in-depth video about that, where he tells you which relay to pull, basically to make up one of these, so you can sort of bridge this relay to see if your fans are working or not. So, but I won't go into too much depth. But basically, I had to adapt one of these. I decided to extend these by using this really kind of thick gauge automotive wiring. So I took some of this, I put one of these ends on, and then I actually attached it onto here with, this is probably a bit OTT, but I had this stuff lying around anyway from other projects. These are M2.5 size screws with 2.5 little nuts as well. So that was all sort of fastened together on here. So you've got thick wiring on here. I then completely sealed all this, so it's kind of all weatherproof. Then I put some heat shrink over that and sealed it in, and then I just sealed it more around there again to make it like super weatherproof and stuff like that. So essentially what and I cut one of these tabs off as well. That sort of ended up as looking like this. So I kind of made this. Now, as you can see, it's all kind of sealed up around there. It's all heat shrunk in place. Now, again, the reason for doing this, you've got the wires coming down. On the factory one, they all go into one side. So I wanted that flexibility of, if I've mounted this way around or this way around, it doesn't really matter. Whatever ends up working the best. I've got more than enough cable to go one way or the other. So that's what I've done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and see if this kind of fits okay. What I might do is, I don't know the best way of doing it. It's still a bit wide for the lower rad cradle. So I don't know at this point if I'm going to use these and I'm going to drill the rad cradle and put some bolts in or whatever, or I don't know, cable ties might be appropriate.
Right.
is. Okay, this little duct is slightly in the way. Let's have a look. So yeah, it's got one pop rivet there. And one screw to remove there. Glad I changed all those. Okay, so as you can see, it's all wired in now. Not too much of a faff, just access is a bit tricky. Should all be all weatherproof and stuff. I've just cable tied it in for now. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that'll be permanent or temporary. We shall see. But time to test now. Okay, so I've already got the relay out, and I just want to put my tester cable in the top pin and the bottom pin there, and then we'll put the ignition on and see if the fan fires up. See, with our jumper cable in. So everything appears to be working now, but I just thought I'd show you. This is the old one I pulled out. You can see quite a bit different to the sort of newer style one that I put in. Yeah, because of that heatsink, it's just quite a lot bigger. The other thing is, well, all the examples I saw online of people doing this, they said there is a white wire, a green wire, and a green and white wire. But my car just has 2 green wires and 1 white wire. So what I essentially did was just sort of, there was a white and a green sort of coming down from one side of the car, and then there was a green coming from the other direction. So I just sort of took that as, you know, one should be in one green should be in one side and a white and a green in the other. To sort of a guess, really. It seems to have worked in that it seems to be working as it should now. So I'm not going to sort of argue with that. But anyway, that about wraps this up. As you can see there, this is the original one. You can see the date stamp on it, December 1998. So I've no idea when it failed, but yeah, it's all done now. Thanks for watching.